Hi, I'm back. Hello. So, I'm Sam Harrison. I read, review, and discuss fantasy and science fiction books. And today, it's the Friday show. So, it's Friday. We've got to get down on Friday. Which seat shall I take? There's a lot we could do with that joke. And I think about it every single week when I start the show. So, I've been ill for basically 2+ weeks, and I haven't got much reading done, and I haven't got a lot to talk to you guys about. But I didn't want the channel to kind of go weeks and weeks and weeks without having any new videos, and I really love making the Friday show, and I really wanted to continue to make it. So what I thought I would do is come along, let you guys know what I've been reading while I was sick, which admittedly I was not really able to focus all that much. So it isn't that much. But I have been diving into a couple of books which we have actually talked about before in both cases. But I also want to talk a little bit about what I might be reading next. And I guess we'll go from there. So first thing that I want to talk about is Gardens of the Moon by Steven Erikson. I finished this book early last week, and I actually was planning to. So I'll give you a little bit of background on being ill. So I got what I thought was COVID and was absolutely down for the count for like 2 days. And then after those 2 days, I started to feel a lot better, but I had really dry skin on my hands, like really, really, really dry. And it was like painful, and I had no idea what was going on. And it turned out that I had a thing that, I don't know what they call it in the US if they have a different name, but it's called hand, foot and mouth. It's a thing that parents get from their kids and kids get from other kids at their school, which is basically where you get blisters all over your hands, your feet and your face. And they were pretty painful, and I was then also starting to get the flu symptoms back again. So everything kind of sucked for like 10 days, and then at the end of those 10 days, basically the hand, foot and mouth slowly tapered off, and the cold that I had somehow gotten from somewhere was shooting up. So as I finally got well enough that I didn't, have like blisters all over my face and didn't want to be on camera, my voice was gone. It was completely buggered. I was coughing if I spoke for more than 10 or 20 seconds at a time. I was still working, so working from home, and that was not helping. And what I should have done is taken time off for both illnesses. I ended up taking 2 days off in total, but really it should have been like 2 or 3 days at the beginning, and I probably would not have gotten so bad with the cold or whatever that I had after. It was really annoying because I felt mostly okay, but because I was just coughing, and I couldn't be bothered to sit down and do a video and just chop every cough every 10 seconds. So what I thought I would do is carry on with reading and just kind of come back to you with more stuff. But what happened was I just wasn't reading that much. I haven't read more than like 5 pages since like Monday this week, and it's Friday. I've opened my book every day this week, but with the book that I'm reading, I'll spoil it for the second part of what I've been reading, is It by Stephen King. And what has happened is it has these like mini chapters. So it'll have like a big chapter which we split into like 8 or 9 little increments, and like I'll often read one of those increments, but I won't read an entire chapter. The last time I read a whole chapter again was Monday morning. So that's kind of how that reading has been going. I don't know if it is this book, if it is other things drawing my attention. I've been playing a lot of the new Pokemon game. I don't know whether it is that I'm getting a lot of stress in other aspects of my life, like my work has been a little bit stressful recently, and we're trying to move house, and my kids have all been sick. So when you get sick from your kids, it's also that they are sick. And for example, I only got 4 hours sleep on Wednesday night. So because Alice was just up and down, and just was really struggling. And I managed to get her down to sleep at 2 a.m. And then she woke up at 6. So we're on the struggle bus in terms of physical and mental condition. Mental health, fine. Mental brain power, not great. And I'm having to basically take all the energy that I have and pour it into kids and work to make sure that I don't fall behind and make things even worse, and kids because they can't look after themselves. They're 6 and 1. So yeah, it's been a rough time for me in terms of I've not been having I'm having such a bad time. I've just been kind of under the weather in a rubbish way for I would say almost 3 weeks. Because I did my 50th run of my run streak the Wednesday before I started feeling ill. And that day, I noticed that all my vital signs, when I looked at that run, were outside of the norm for efforts like that. So I kind of knew that something was happening. And then on Thursday, I felt really ill in the evening. Was like, oh, maybe I've just not looked after myself today, not drank enough water, not eaten properly, so I'll just go to bed. So I went to bed, woke up Friday morning, and I very clearly had the flu. It wasn't the flu in the end, but I had all the symptoms of the flu, but for 48 hours. Anyway, long story short, 8 minutes into this video, I finished reading Gardens of the Moon. I have extremely mixed feelings about this, and I'm really looking forward to having my discussion with Matt, because we have kind of sort of avoided going deep into our opinions on it in our DMs so that we can have a proper chat about it. But I just wanted to say, this book is a real mixed bag for me. I have quite a few criticisms and quite a few issues with the book. I am told that the next book, which is Deadhouse Gates, will completely get rid of a lot of those qualms and issues. And I'm also, despite being assured that this is the best fantasy series of all time and it's phenomenal and every book is a game changer, that actually book 1 isn't very good. So everyone I spoke to who was a big Malazan fan was like, oh, well, yeah, book 1 isn't that great, is it? And I was like, that's not what I've heard before. I have not done research into this series because I wanted to go in blind. So if, all I've heard is the series is amazing. I haven't really heard this particular book isn't great, this particular book isn't great. And now I'm actually getting into reading it. I am starting to hear that. So some people are saying some of the middle books aren't great and that this book isn't great. So yeah, my full review for this will be coming at some point. But the spoiler discussion with me and Matt, we're going to record that next week and I'll release it the week after. So that's kind of how it's going to happen. After that, we talked about this. I started reading It by Stephen King. I was actually using it as my audio read during Malazan, but I wasn't getting much audio time. So, and actually, the audiobook loan from the library runs out tomorrow, and I am only a third of the way through. I am liking this book so far. Whenever I sit down to read this book, I enjoy the experience, but I am not really feeling the urge to pick it up. And I don't know whether that is the book, whether I am in a bit of a reading slump brought on by high expectations, low actual enjoyment of Gardens of the Moon, or it's because I've been ill. So there's so many factors which could build to why I'm not feeling drawn to read this book. And I'm going to continue to push through it and read it. But I have actually been considering putting it to one side for a few days and reading something else. I'm in a bit of a weird period of upheaval at the moment as well, because we're moving. I have been trying to cut costs. So already this year I cut a big significant personal expense by going on my book buying ban. But I've been trying to also cut costs in other areas. So I recently got rid of my YouTube Premium subscription, which has meant that I now am barely watching YouTube because I cannot stand it with ads. I'm only watching my friends' stuff, really. So when it comes to, and like, I'm often watching it like, I don't know, I'm like not paying attention in the way I used to, because the adverts are just killing my attention span for it. It's such a weird thing. And like, I put ads in my videos, and like, that's how I pay for the books that I read on the channel. For things like Broken Binding books, like that all comes out of the YouTube money. Like, I like those books. And it's not like I'm making like £10 a month, guys. I'm not rolling in it. It was more back in the day, but the channel has completely fallen off, and only my most loyal subscribers are still here. Thank you very much. Please subscribe if you haven't. Like the video, comment, etc. So I'm in a weird period of media upheaval, I guess. And now what I'm kind of thinking is I want to read something that is maybe a little bit more reliable for me, like something classic fantasy, like not Wheel of Time, because I've finished it. Like, that would have been a great one for me to like break out of the slump. And Malazan, I think, is too its own thing. I am going to read book 2 of Malazan in November, and it's already the 7th, so God knows when I'm going to fit that in. But what I think I need is something that is like short, sharp, quick, fun, classic fantasy. And maybe it'll be, I mean, I say short. Classic fantasy rarely is short. Yeah, I just don't know what I need right now to push the slump away. Back in the day, it would have been a Dresden Files book, but I've read them all. I haven't read the novella. Maybe I'll read that. Maybe I'll read the Bitter Crown. I loved The Lost War earlier this year, and Mayor says those books just get better as they go. I really want to read The Dragonbone Chair, actually. And I have a paperback copy of that I bought specifically to read so that I wouldn't ruin my Broken Binding version. Maybe I'll read that. And then I can donate that to the library as I had planned to do. So yeah, maybe that. Maybe I'll read Dragonbone Chair. I've got this weird, I think I've built a complex in my head about being in a slump, and so I've put myself into a slump. And yeah, what I need to do is push myself out of it, and we'll see whether that happens or not. So yeah, don't know what I'm going to be reading next. Please drop some ideas down below in the comments. Like, give me some recommendations on like classic fantasy stuff that you've read recently that you really like. There's not that many big popular classic fantasy series that I haven't read now. So, you know, we got Dragonbone Chair. We've got going back to Robin Hobb, but I do want to save Robin Hobb and probably read that with Matt when we're done with Malazan. Yeah, there's a lot of places I could go to try and slump bust, but I just don't know yet of any that are going to really do it for me. So yeah, it's a struggle. We're struggling. We're struggling all around, really. But like, I'm not sad or upset. I'm a happy person. I'm just not. My brain is not wanting to read. A big side effect. This is probably also a big side effect of the fact that my time for reading has drastically reduced because my daughter has decided that instead of going to bed at 7:30, she now is going to stay awake and not fall asleep until 9 p.m. And so previously, I could put her down at 7:30, get all my house jobs done, and then read for an hour or two before my brain shut down. But now, by the time I've got the house jobs done, my brain has shut down and I don't have any energy left to read. So yeah, that I'm making a lot of excuses as to why I haven't read very much. But yeah, maybe we'll read Thingamajig, Dragonbone Chair. Maybe we'll read Shadow of What Was Lost. I have been awaiting for a while a physical arc in the post of an anticipated fantasy release for this year, and I have chased it twice with the publisher after they said definitely you're getting one, and I have not been able to. I haven't received it yet, and so feeling a bit. I don't want to chase it again because I've chased it twice, and I don't know whether they would appreciate it or whether they'd be like, "Oh God, this guy's so annoying." So yeah, drop in the comments and let me know what you would do. Speaking of physical arc, I did get sent this by Orbit. So I got sent The Book of Fallen Leaves, which is coming out in March 2026. And this is by A.S. Tamaki. This is a debut samurai-infused fantasy novel. And the kind of the comp titles, the idea here is Shogun meets Game of Thrones. I am insanely excited to read this one. This arc is beautiful, but and like look at this cover, it's so cool. It's like foiled as well and everything, and it's like a proper real arc, not the copies that I normally get, which are just early production copies. And yeah, I've got like a little bookmark and a little sticker. Like it's genuinely like mega exciting to have been selected to receive this by Orbit. And so like I've already thanked them on Instagram, but like massive thank you to Orbit for this one. And I don't know when I'm going to read it, but I'm excited to get to it. I'll tell you right now. I don't know if I want to read it like now, because then if I review this book, you guys can't buy it and read it until March next year. So my options are like read it now and then publish the review in like February 2026. You just like record the review and schedule it. That would be quite funny to do, actually. Imagine like it comes in between like 10 other videos, and the other videos I've got like a giant scar across my eye, and that's like the time travel video of me reviewing this book from October. November now. So yeah, maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll read it, and obviously I can talk about it in the updates, and I can talk about it in my monthly wrap-ups and year ends and stuff. Oh no, maybe I want to read this next year so that it figures into next year's book of the year, because I don't want to, if it's fantastic and it's like my number one book of the year, I don't want to give it my book of the year this year when it's not available for you guys to buy and read. That feels unfair or like not cool, I guess. So yeah, we'll probably read this in like January, February. Or I don't know. It looks so fun. I've read a couple of lines. Like I read the like opening of it and was like, this looks cool as hell. So we'll see how long I can hold off. We will see how long I can hold off. I do have the Black Sun trilogy by Rebecca Roanhorse as well. That came from Broken Binding. Maybe I should read that. Cross of the Ravens by Andrzej Sapkowski. I'm so apologetic to anyone if that is not the way you say that name. Yeah, there's so much good stuff that I own that I could read. There's infinite books on the library, and I just need to get my brain to make a decision. And that also the other decision of, do I actually put down it for a week and then pick it up and try and finish it? There's so much foreshadowing in this. Which is fantastic. I really like this book. I have like nothing bad to say about it so far. There is some choice language in there, but it's written in the 80s and the 50s, like that kind of makes sense. And it is great. It is genuinely great. So the thing here is just, am I in a slump because this isn't what my brain wants to read right now? Maybe we should read some comics or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. On Monday, you will receive my House of Last Resort video review. I read this book like a month ago. I didn't record the review at the time because I was like, oh, well, I only need to review it in a week's time. turns out having 2 weeks off sick of doing reviews is causing a pile up. So I will probably actually flick through some of the pivotal scenes from that book again so that I have a fresh mind for the review. Wednesday of next week, you will get my October wrap-up, which is basically what we've just gone over, but we will go more in depth and we'll talk star ratings, we'll talk book of the month, all that sort of stuff. The Friday after will be the Friday show. The Monday after that will be the review for Gardens of the Moon. And then the Wednesday of that week will also be the spoiler discussion with Matt of Gardens of the Moon. So I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. I know that it's been incredibly rambling and that my brain is kind of not firing right now, which probably why I'm not doing so great on the reading front. I should really have been listening to the audiobook while playing a lot of Pokemon, because that's what I've been doing. I've been playing Pokemon. But maybe that what I did instead was listen to a ton of podcasts, and like that worked fine. But I wonder if maybe I would have gotten a bit further in it if I had not been doing that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope that you're doing well and that you're reading good stuff. And I will speak to you on Monday.